Hello everybody, it is Saturday night and tonight's theme is Zombify. Zombify what? What should we zombify tonight? Let me get some, let's get some spooky music going in the background. How's everybody doing tonight? Any Halloween parties or anything like that going on? I just got back from a Halloween party. All right, there we go. Hey Robin, how's it going? How's it going, Vegan for Vendetta? Brooke. So I just got back from a Halloween party. Went there with a friend, and I'm pretty hungry because they didn't have. It wasn't a vegan one, so there wasn't really anything I could eat. So what do we got from this vegan cuts box from the other night? Maybe I can snack on something. Granola. The minis are good. I gotta make dinner. But I needed to come back on here because if I didn't, I would miss tonight's broadcast, and I don't want to do that. I told everybody I'd be on. I guess I'm gonna have some kettle corn. The party was good. They had a cute little pit bull. Meishai Halima just had a Halloween party. Amazing vegan cupcakes, that sounds good. Mukbang with Chris. Yeah, tonight I'm just gonna eat this. You know, I would go out in the kitchen and make something. I actually tested a recipe today, and I'm gonna be filming it after this. So hopefully I'll be filming it and editing throughout the night, and the video hopefully will be up tomorrow. And this is another, so I've been so crunched on time lately because I have all these videos that I want to edit and put out before Halloween. Hey Nick, what's up? Hey Bonnie. And we only have a few more days. So if you've seen today, I put up my my Halloween movie list video, and the day before that it was my top 7 candies for Halloween. And like, I've just been going at it every day. So what everybody have been, we already talked about this, Nick, but everybody has been showing me the Starbucks zombie Frappuccino. So I went and I veganized it today, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. So that's what I'm going to be making after we get off this broadcast. So I can only be on here for a certain amount of time. We'll probably cut it down to half hour, 45 minutes or something like that. Hey Susan. The Halloween movie list. Okay, so I just uploaded that video today on my YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube channel, The Vegan Zombie, it's my newest video. And I basically just go through 13 Halloween movies that I recommend people watch. This is really hard to open. It's not just like, oh, there we go. I had to put a little bit of a zombie effort into it. We got a couple fall on the floor. Just give those to Indy. Well, Nick says my horror movie list was awesome. I'm glad you liked it. Well, I can't give you too many details on the Frappuccino that I made because I don't want to give it away. I want to post it tomorrow. But let's just say I went all over the place today to find the ingredients that I needed. I made it completely healthy. I made some of my own caramel. And I even went to Starbucks today and asked them for a couple cups, empty cups. Oh, we got some shares. Thank you for the shares, guys, and thank you, Barbara, for the tip. 50 gold bars. I didn't dress up for the party because my friend didn't dress up, and I didn't know if it was like a last minute thing. All I did was wear my gloves right here and my cereal Caller shirt. That's it. These are really good, by the way. These kettle pipcorn. Sorry that I'm eating in front of you guys, but a sleeve of cups. That would have been cool. He tried to give me, he was nice. He tried to give me like the little one. I'm like, could I get the bigger cup? I'll pay for it. And he's like, no, just take it. So that was cool. Yeah, I never go in Starbucks, so it was weird for me to even go in there, stand in line. I don't drink coffee or anything. I have no reason to go in there. And I decided I need one of their cups. So nice to have an alternative. And what did you need to get all over for? Well, it turns out I was looking to buy some spirulina, and I went to Wegmans, which they didn't have it. And then I went to Green Planet Grocery, which I ended up getting a couple of things there that I needed. But they were out of spirulina as well. And then my friend that, I don't know if you guys watched the last video I did where I veganized the unicorn frappuccino. My friend that helped me with that had some extra spirulina. So I got that. And then when I got home, I realized I did have some spirulina in the cupboard. So I was all set with that. But I'm glad I went because I ended up getting something else that I didn't plan on getting. But I saw it there and I'm like, hey, wait, maybe this will work even better than what I was thinking about. So I got that instead. And all the details will surface and come out when my video comes out. You can just always say you dressed up as Jared Leto or Jesus from Walking Dead. That's true. If I had a bandana, I saw that one. You know, when he first came out on The Walking Dead, I had gone for, it was really cold here, and I had gone for a run, and I took a picture, and I was wearing a bandana, and everybody started saying, oh, you must be referencing Jesus from The Walking Dead. I had no idea what they were talking about. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, now I know what they're talking about. I don't think they wanted to charge me for anything, but I felt weird asking for it, so I offered to pay for it. For the cups. I'm like, can you just give me... Because I didn't want to buy... Like, I didn't want anything. So if I had to, I'd be like, all right, charge me for like a soy steamer, but don't put anything in it. That was my plan if they weren't going to give it. But they were cool. Susan saw the unicorn frappuccino. What's my typical day look like? I let Indy the pup out. I feed him. And then I start going through my emails. I look at what I have to do for the day. Either I'll film a video or I will edit a video and post a video. That's normally. But today I went to the farmer's market. I mowed my lawn, and then I went looking for ingredients. I went to 2 different stores, came home, veganized the zombie, which, by the way, once it's veganized, it's going to be called a vegan zombie. Sounds like a pretty cool name. And then my friend came over and we went over to the Halloween party. And now, chatting with you guys. And I have spooky music on, but I think it's too low. You guys probably can't hear it. It's going to get really loud now. So, oh, that's a bummer, Susan. Our farmers market goes all year long. When it starts getting cold out, it's just indoors. So they're these big, long buildings, and they have these like huge garage doors that all open out every side. And everybody's in there, and it's all open when it's warm out. When it's cold out, they put the garage doors down, and you just go inside. So I got a pretty good deal at the farmers. And then there's a little kind of shop right next to the farmers market that has they do have like a bunch of produce, but they have other stuff too that's really cheap. So I've been eating this Bob's Red Mill oatmeal, those little packages. They're very similar to this, but like Bob's Red Mill. And I think they're normally, for one of those, it's like $2.50 or something. Well, at this place, they're only 50 cents, and you can buy a whole box of them for $5. So I bought 3 boxes of them, three different flavors, I think. And then I saw like a bag of flaxseed for like $1.50. I got a lot of good deals. I got some granola, like a bag of muesli or granola, for $1.50 each bag, and these bags were pretty huge. So on top of all the produce I got as well, so I did pretty good. I have not watched Stranger Things yet. I've been like on the go all day. I don't really know what my plans are for Halloween. Halloween, it's always such a bummer because right after Halloween, the next day is so sad. It's like the saddest day in the world. May to October in Seattle? That doesn't sound cool. Oh, Dylan likes the... Cool. I'm glad you like the list of the movies I chose. Which reminds me, I still have to post my Instagram movie for tonight. Oh, on Halloween, we're gonna come on here with you guys. We're gonna do trivia night on Halloween. Yeah, no spoilers, please. Stranger Things. Yeah, and if you like Halloween stuff, go to all the stores the day after Halloween, November 1st, and you're going to get all these discounts on all the Halloween stuff. Day of the Dead. We could stream on Night of the Living Dead again, which is... Oh, Nick, are you saying for tonight? It's one of 2 movies. Why don't I let you guys pick which of the 2 that I'm going to do tonight? So, for tonight's Halloween, 31 Days of Halloween movie, I was going to pick either 28 Days Later or The Ring. So, what do you guys think? Which one should I do? for tonight. It doesn't really matter because we still got a few more nights. Good, isn't it? It is. We got 2 for 28 days later. 3. Alright, I guess tomorrow will be the ring. I already know what I'm going to choose for the last day, which I'm not going to share until Halloween. Well, I'm eating pick porn. That's what I'm stuffing in my face right now. Cillian Murphy. Unwrap it. I don't know what that is. I never usually eat popcorn either. Is it just like a website where you can stream a movie with everybody or something? I'd like to do something through here so people on YouNow can see it, and we could do like a Halloween theme something or another. I haven't really eaten today, so that's why I'm eating it in front of you guys. Sorry. I got like 7 or 8 avocados for $3. I think that's the best I've ever seen them. So it's a video chat. So in other words, there will be like up in the corner or something, we can stream a movie while I talk or something. Or there'll be a box up in the corner of me while the movie's playing or something. Is there something I have to download? So I wouldn't be able to do it here then. We got to find something that we can do with everybody watching. We're number 8 in Halloween tonight. Yeah, this was in the last What's in the Box. Well, it was in the last Vegan Cuts. The October box of Vegan Cuts. And that's where it was. If the world was ending as we know it, or if we were in the zombie apocalypse. So how would we react in a zombie apocalypse? Does anybody have a bug out bag? I gotta do a video about that. I just got a new one. Thanks for the tip, Susan. REM. REM, Michael Stipe. So I have to do another video on my favorite zombie movies. And I had that in mind when I did my list for Halloween movies too, so. No weapons. So my biggest thing is everybody compares brains with zombies, but in reality, it's really hard to get to the brain. So most zombies would never taste a brain. I'm sure they would love to eat a brain, but they just don't because you can't really get to the brain. They eat your flesh and your intestines and all that stuff that they can get to. Brains, not so much. What weapon would I pick? I'm not really sure. It depends how the apocalypse was, if they were fast zombies or slow zombies. I've thought about this before. It would definitely be a firearm, but it would probably be like more of like a shotgun or a rifle. And I know people say, well, you know, if you do that, it's loud and blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. If you have a bunch of zombies coming at you and you only have a baseball bat, you're going to get tired pretty fast to the point where they're going to get you. You need to have a lot of stamina there. Now, if you have a gun, all you have to do is be a good aim and be able to pull that trigger. When you're out of bullets, you have a rifle to use just like a baseball bat, so it's kind of the best of both worlds as far as that goes. And I would much rather use something that I could use like a gun than, like, say, a baseball bat. But if it was a rifle, I could use it as, you know, a bludgeoning weapon if there was no bullets in it. So that would be my weapon. The Dawn of the Dead remake was really good. So most remakes aren't as good, but yeah, that was a good one. Oh, Vicky, did you hear Indy? Yeah, he just walked by and he's laying down over there now. A machine gun. That's a good choice. A Japanese sword. Done right. A sharp one with good steel, which slices through them pretty fast. Resident Evil is your 10th favorite film of all time. See, I don't know if I can like get down to like how precise that is, because I can pick like my favorite movie, but like after that it's like there's so many movies that are good for different reasons that I don't know if I can choose like a list like that. If you're gonna use nunchucks, you gotta be as good as like Bruce Lee or something, or else it's not gonna really do anything to a zombie. Yeah, Beetlejuice is a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time either. Why did I go vegan? Because it was the right thing to do. I couldn't think of any other reason. There was no reason not to go vegan when I went vegan. Probably Edward Scissorhands. I love that movie. Alright, I finished my pipcorn. Kettle corn. Kind of made a mess. Shaun of the Dead. Now that's a good movie. And so is I Am Legend. Edward. Shaun of the Dead was really good. Lorian, check out my video from about 3 weeks ago. I go and get my blood tested. I have not eaten meat in almost 28 years, and I've been vegan for 23 years. Never took vitamins or anything like that. Just ate the right foods, I guess. Basically just ate vegan food. Like for the first like 16 or 17 years, I was kind of a junk food vegan. I just ate when I was hungry and whatever. I went and got my blood tested about last month, and I didn't know what it would be like because I've never got it tested. I never took B12 supplements or anything like that. And just watch the video. My B12 is fine. B12 doesn't come from animals. It comes from microbes in the ground. So B12 is something that anybody can be deficient in, like vegan or non-vegan. It's not from animals. It's not from plants. So you got to make sure you're either taking supplements or you're eating foods that are fortified with B12. I know I mentioned this last night. I've never tried this, but I opened up what's in the box thing, and somebody sent me a daily B12 spray. You spray this under your tongue like 3 times a day. So that's another way to get B12. There's a lot of foods that are fortified with it. I just happen to have been drinking one of the rice milks all of these years, all of these almost, over 25 years. And it's fortified with B12. I don't know if, that kept me healthy all these years, but cereals are fortified with B12. Sometimes you can get it through nutritional yeast. There are things you can get it from as a vegan. So you just got to do the research and make sure. And then, there's no reason you can't, if you feel like you're lacking it. There's also vitamins, and you can, there's shots, there's vitamins you can take sublingual. And so they got you taken care of. Those are great reasons to go vegan. Like I said, I've been vegan for all these years, and back then when I did it, there was no internet or support groups. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know if I would be healthy. I didn't know any of these things. I just did it, and I kind of took a leap of faith. It was probably the single best decision I ever made without knowing it at the time. I'm incredibly healthy. My blood tests were all good. And being vegan is great physically and mentally. Like I have a peace of mind that I'm vegan. I feel good physically. I don't feel like I thought I would feel at my age, let's just say. So that would be the first step. That's what I did as well. I went vegetarian first, eliminated meat from my diet when I was only 14 years old. And the more I learned, I never wanted to be a part of hurting animals or anything like that. At the time, this is way back in 1990, I had no idea that the dairy industry was so cruel to animals. I thought that if I just wasn't eating the meat, then I wasn't hurting animals. So in the next few years, I learned more and more about it, and I was just sitting there. I know exactly where I was. I was sitting at Taco Bell, actually, with some vegetarian burritos, and it just all dawned on me, and I made that decision that I, from now on, am going to be a vegan, that I don't want any part of the dairy industry. I don't want any part of any animal products. I don't consider them food any longer. And once I did that, it was very easy. People have asked me over the years if there's, what's the one thing that I miss? What's the one thing that nothing. I don't miss any of that. It's disgusting to me, absolutely disgusting. And I know people eat meat and dairy, and to me, it's not food. I don't consider it food. So it's kind of weird when people eat the kind of stuff, because I can't imagine eating it myself. And there's no lack of anything, because being vegan has opened the doors to so many different foods for me. I have found I've eaten more of a variety. I've been introduced to different foods after being vegan, and especially in today, 2017. There's so many foods. It's so much easier today than it was back then, and I don't even think it was difficult back then. But it was more of a challenge. But today, it's everything. They have everything that you can think of to be vegan. So. Yeah, Susan, that's all you have to do is see how they treat the animals, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm an animal lover. I don't condone this, but if you're eating dairy products indirectly, you are condoning this kind of stuff. So that's why sometimes people just need to see that. It's different for everybody. It's different. But it's awkward being the only one at the table who can't eat at the table. I've been there. I've been there many times growing up. Because like I said, I was 14 when I did this. And I've been in situations like that. I've been at work meetings where I'm with all the other executives from the company I work for. And we're all sitting at a table where I can't eat anything. Or, going to training classes for work-related events where they bring in lunch and they bring in like cheese pizzas and there's nothing you can eat. I've always found something, like I've either said, hey guys, I'll be right back, or I've gone out on the sales floor and got something that way, or I've always made something. And if you're at some place where you're at a dinner table with like family members or friends or something, you just simply you let them know. It's not hard to let somebody know, hey, is there anything I could bring, or is there anything I could make, or could I help you make something that I could eat? I don't eat meat or something. Thank you for the offer. Thank you for the gesture. But I'm a vegan. I don't eat that. I don't partake in that. And they should respect your wishes. If they don't, I tell people don't ever compromise for somebody else, because you wouldn't ask somebody else to compromise. Let's just say somebody came and said it was, their religion not to do this or that. You're not going to force something upon that person, because that would be ridiculous. That would be so inconsiderate. Why should somebody do that to you? That's your belief. That's your choice. And, I've always had people be sympathetic or kind or understanding whenever something like that has happened. But if there was somebody that would, insist that I have to eat what they made, well, at that point, it's time for me to go. It's time for me, it's not worth it. If somebody can't see eye to eye with you there. And believe me, I've been, over the years, I've got my family members to, go. Most of my family is vegan now, but at the beginning, nobody was. So I was the odd man out, sitting at a table, on the holidays and stuff like that, the only vegan. I didn't care. I stood by what my beliefs were, and I brought my own food, stuff like that. So it can be done, and it's less awkward when you just, you tell people ahead of time, and people will do their best to usually. And nowadays, most people know what vegan is, and you can go almost any restaurant and somebody's going to have like a vegan option, something for vegans. Let's see, what I missed here. Yeah, I understand that there are cultures that feel disrespected if you don't eat their food. But you just got to stand by what your beliefs are. I know in other countries, sometimes it's disrespectful if you don't eat some meat that they made you or something like that. But you got to understand that's your belief. Try to bring it up something like it's very similar to a religion or something like that. Which I'm not saying it's a religion. I don't think it's a religion. But if you're in a situation like that, like try to get them to understand maybe that way. Like that's what you believe. You're not going to you're not trying to be disrespectful, but you don't eat animals. you can always, take the route if some people don't understand that maybe you could thanks Rachel. Black Mist. I think I got a popcorn thing in my throat. You could always say you're allergic, health reasons. You could say that. Sometimes I used to say that when people didn't understand when I would go to a restaurant. They don't understand like you're vegan or like, oh, what, why, but as soon as you say you're highly allergic to something, they don't want to get a lawsuit. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want you to, get sick and possibly be in the hospital. So you just say, oh, I'm allergic to all dairy or whatever. So sometimes that helps when people don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go out and see some of these questions that I missed. DJ McKay, congrats on 2 years vegan in January. May, I'm with you there. The awkwardness does melt away. Like, I stand for what I believe in, and I don't feel awkward at all anymore. I mean, I did at one point when I was younger, but not anymore. It's not even a question. And also, I try not to put myself in situations like that, Like, I try to make my own food or go to somebody's house that if somebody's going to be making food for me or something like that for when I come over, like, they know that I'm a vegan. And for a long time, I didn't even say that. Like, when I went out, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't even say vegan because nobody knew what it was. So I'd be like, I don't do dairy, I don't do meat, I don't do eggs, I don't do honey. And I just kind of explain what I can't eat. And thankfully, most places nowadays do know what vegan is. Hey, Greg. Yeah, I always recommend that as well, May. Is make a dish, make something that is really good. And I usually make when I go out to like a potluck or something, I'll usually make like our mac and cheese that's in our cookbook, and people just devour that. And the last place I went to that did that, nobody was vegan there except for me, and I just brought it and I set it down so I would have something to eat. And everybody ate it right away. It was like their favorite thing. They asked me for the recipe, and when I told them, the recipe and that it was vegan, where they could find it, they were blown away. They were shocked that they didn't think it was vegan. So do something like that'll impress people. Don't even tell anybody at first. Just bring it when they eat it and they like it. Because a lot of people, when they know something's vegan, they'll say, that was pretty good for vegan. But we don't want them to say that. We want them to say that was pretty good. See, I'm lucky now because after all these years, finally, most of my family is vegan. So when I go to like our Thanksgiving or like Christmas or whatever, it's usually at my brother's house. So him and his wife have like all this vegan food, and my mom usually makes pies or cakes, all vegan. So I don't have to worry anymore because I know everything's vegan. And now recently my sister went vegan a few months back, so that's really cool. She's really sticking with it too. She'll go order something somewhere or make something, and she'll send me pictures. She's all proud of it. Susan doesn't like cake. I never really liked cake either. But and I'm not a big cake eater, but I will eat certain cakes, I guess. It's been a while, though. I like ice cream better. I remember so a job that I had way back in the day, 1999, I believe it was. Everybody liked me there, but I was leaving. I was moving away to go to college. And, obviously they didn't want me to go. They liked me. And they had a surprise party for me leaving. And I kind of suspected they were going to do that. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to say to them? They're going to, they're all going out of their way for me. And they're going to get a cake. And I'm not going to eat it because it's not going to be vegan. What am I going to do? So sure enough, hey, Chris, come on. Come in the break room. And I'm like, oh, I know what they were doing. So I go in there and they had a cake for me. So I got to figure out how to handle this because obviously, I'm so grateful that everybody went out of their way and, made this nice gesture to me. And I felt really bad. But, they cut me a piece of cake and gave it to me, and I just sat there, frozen, what was I going to say? Not even really listening to what anybody was saying, just, what am I going to say? So finally they're like, all right, eat your cake. And I'm like, and I just said it. I'm like, guys, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate everything you're doing. I don't mean any offense, but I can't eat this cake. And they're like, why not? I'm like, I'm a vegan, and I don't compromise, and the cake's obviously not vegan. And they're like, oh, no problem, we'll take it. And they took it and they ate it. But so you just got to let people know that you're very, grateful for, what they're doing. But, those situations are, luckily they haven't happened too many times. They've happened a few times over the years to me, but you just got to know how to handle it. I mean, there are some people that would probably eat it just so they didn't make a scene or anything. But maybe they would feel bad afterwards. See, I couldn't do that. For a breakfast potluck, I would do a tofu scramble or breakfast burritos. I have a really good tofu scramble on my YouTube channel. And then I wrap it up in a nice breakfast burrito. We have also a nice French toast, vegan French toast, pancakes. We have apple cider pancakes. And for those of you, if there's anybody watching from outside the United States, some people outside the United States, apple cider to them is an alcoholic drink. I'm not talking about alcoholic drink. I'm talking about just apple, straight from an apple juice, non-alcoholic. So that was funny once. We had somebody message us that lived in France once, and they said that they made our apple cider pancakes for their guests. And I think it called for a cup of apple cider. And they actually put a cup of apple cider vinegar in it. I can't imagine how bad those tasted. And they said that their guests were trying to eat it and trying to be polite, but it tasted so bad. Oh man, that's a funny story. I have a couple of mac and cheese recipes, but yeah, the one in the cookbook, do I put nooch in it? If I have nooch around, I'll throw some of that in there. You don't have to put it in there. And then we do one with some of the vegan cheeses that you can buy at the stores, and then we have another one without the vegan cheeses. So I've made them both ways, where you can just make your own cheeses. What's this? Nick and I actually tried your mac and cheese recipe last night. Oh, that's funny that we're talking about it right now. Glad you guys liked it. Exactly. If they're really your friends, they will understand. So, if somebody is giving you a hard time, then maybe they're not your friends and you need to leave. Also glad that you like the tofu scramble. We have two recipes. So John does one way back when we first started the channel, and then I did one with the breakfast burrito. I tend to like the one I made better. It would, just progression, we made the first one 8 years ago, and the second one a year and a half, 2 years ago. What's my opinion on the raw vegan till 420 diet? Is that different than the raw till 4? Is that like raw vegan and then smoke some? Because I don't, usually I was raw till 4 by default because I would get up not too early in the morning because I stay up late, and I would have a smoothie which was pretty raw. I don't know if the milk that the flax milk I put in there was raw or not, but everything else is pretty raw there. So I wouldn't even eat like another meal until 4 or after. So just by default, I was usually raw till 4. I hug Indy after this stream. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that. He has fleas. We're trying to get rid of them. He's had them for a little bit. Do you still got your fleas? He hasn't been itching today, so maybe they're finally gone. I got him one of those collars. But I'll pet the top of his head for you. No, I haven't got fat. I haven't got fat on my vegan diet. I eat pretty healthy. I've been doing this for the healthy part for about 5 years. Before that, I was kind of like a junk food vegan. And I guess you can say I've never really been fat, but for me, like, I need to be like in my best shape always or I'll feel fat. So after I had hurt my back, and until I had my back surgery, I did gain a little weight because I couldn't do the things I used to do, like skateboard all the time. And, I wasn't really working out anymore because of my back injury. So, but after that, and I started working, I lost about 30 pounds. I got in shape again, and I've stayed that way for the past 5 years. So, no, raw till 4 didn't do that. Didn't do that for me. Did I gain a lot of confidence going vegan, especially socially? I wouldn't say confidence from going vegan, but I guess that led to me gaining confidence. And I was just talking about this. I used to be a really shy, introverted person. I had very little self-confidence, and it wasn't until the vegan zombie that I created until I actually got confidence. And that was because, and that wasn't even at the beginning of the vegan zombie. That was kind of when John stopped doing as many videos with me as he was, because that kind of forced me to get in front of the camera, something that I was extremely afraid to do. It was very uncomfortable, and I knew that I had to do it. I weighed my options. I either had to lose everything I worked hard for, or just suck it up and learn to get in front of the camera and have a little more confidence. And so I've been doing that for about 2 years now, and I can tell you that I've got so much more confidence by doing that, going out to events, doing demos, meeting new people, helping other people, talking, giving advice, that kind of thing. I mean, vegan is something that I'm an expert at. Like, I consider myself an expert because I've lived all of my adult life and most of my teenage years as a vegan for over 2 decades. So I have all that life experience there. And so when I go out and I talk about these things, I have confidence because I told myself all I'm doing is telling my experience, talking about my life, helping other people that way. So yeah, I learned to speak in public. I learned to, brush off comments from haters. I learned to not really care so much what people thought of me and basically be my own person. So the next time you come to Minnesota, can we chat more now? So what do you mean by that, Susan? Yeah, Vicky, I did. I used to pop out behind the camera every now and then when we had to address something. And John hated that because when I was in the videos, that meant that, because John would just take one take and he'd be fine. But when I did it, I'd be like, can we do another take? Can we do? And we'd sit there forever and he'd be like, oh my God. And so he hated it when like we would do it together. And I'm good now. I can just get on and we can talk, do whatever, and it's fine. So I've really come a long way, and it's all through the vegan zombie, which I guess originated through veganism. So in a roundabout way, yes, veganism helped me, but for the most part, it was mainly the channel and being passionate about it. And you know, the other thing is like, yeah, I love doing the channel, but if I didn't get the feedback and views from my videos from you guys, there'd really be no reason to do it. So Indy's like running in circles over there, but he's not doing that from fleas. He's just running in circles. Are you showing off over there? You making a lot of noise? All right, come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're on TV. You're on TV. Look at you. You're famous. Okay, that's Indy the pup. He probably wants to go for a, you know, WALK, but draining out right now. So maybe later. I know I was like on to something. I forgot what I was saying. Oh wow, Vicky, you've been watching for like 7 years. That's like almost as old as our channel. Okay, so yeah, what I was saying was, if nobody watched my show and I never got feedback, like when people say, hey, you like, I love making your recipe, or you helped me go vegan, or anything positive like that, like that gives us like the positive feedback that we're doing something right. And like, how could I ever stop doing this when, you know, I am making an impact. I am helping people. This is my form of animal activism, and I feel like I've done a lot through this that I never would have been able to do without this platform through like YouTube and the Vegan Zombie. No, John. Well, it wasn't about John not liking me being a perfectionist. It was John was always crunched for time. John always wanted to just be in and out and then leave. So, you know, having me being like, oh, I don't like the way, I need to do one more take. Or, you know, I just stuttered and slipped up. I need to do another, we need to do that again. Although we did one that is pretty funny now, thinking back of it. We were trying to do one together where we were coordinated. I would talk and then he would talk, and we, you know, and it was about, you know, an important issue. And I had just bought a brand new GoPro. I still have the footage from it. It's funny. I should put it up sometime. And I actually got my lines right like every time, and he kept slipping up on his, and he got so frustrated that he flipped up the camera, and it hit my GoPro, and my GoPro went straight up in the air and landed, and it was doing like flips the whole way around. So the footage is just like, and then he picks it up and he's like, oh, that was your brand new camera. I'm like, what? Pretty funny. We got some funny bloopers over the years. Thanks so much, Vicky. So you probably know better than most, if you've been watching us for 7 years, that I just was very shy. And I mean, the old videos that I'm in, it's funny because I think going back and looking at one, I put it on private, so I didn't want anybody to watch. I'm like, I can't believe I did this. I mean, most of you probably wouldn't even recognize me because I had really short buzz cut hair, but completely was not comfortable in front of the camera. Black Mist Angel, that totally means a lot. My show is so important for vegans and future vegans. Do I find it stressful to be a vegan male? Here it is nearly all women. I do realize that more women tend to go vegan than men. However, when I did this, there was really nobody that was vegan. So when I did it, I identified, I kind of said, you know, I'm going to claim this. This is my thing. Like, if I have a couple friends that are vegan as well, or if I can start meeting new vegans. But I did this at a time that was unheard of to even hear the word vegan. So I've never associated it with any kind of stress or anything like that. If people don't, if people make fun of me now for being vegan, usually I'll give it right back to them. And I usually have the upper hand. I've always had the upper hand because I know my facts. This is what I do day in and day out for years. So whereas somebody might like come off the cuff and just like start talking about it like at that moment, but they don't do all this research every day for all these years about vegans or being vegan, and how can you really say it unless you are a vegan? But no, I don't. I've never felt stressful or anything for being a vegan, or like I'm like one of the few males in a mostly female vegan world or anything like that. I don't feel that. And the other thing that I never got, and I do know this is a thing, is a lot of people try to like make it like masculine, like where, oh, if you're a vegan, you're not a man, you like a man eats a steak and all that. And I think that's ridiculous. I really do. And I just read an article today that said some of the that they're saying that most of the gladiators from thousands of years ago were vegan. They ate a grain diet and stuff like that. I mean, these were the strongest of the strong, and I just think it's ridiculous. And that's part of the reason I wanted to change the perception and make my channel. Like, I mean, there's a lot of reasons I want to make my channel, but one of them was I wanted to, at the time, vegans had a stereotype that, we were these peaceful hippies that, we were not athletic, we were weak, we were all these different things that were just, I wanted to change that stereotype and make like a badass vegan that, survived in the zombie apocalypse and made delicious vegan food. That's what I wanted to do with my channel. Hey, hummus. Vegan for Vendetta. Thank you. I'm glad that I could help you there. So I've also had some friends, and I have a really good friend that's been vegan for a long time, and he also has, I got some friends that have celiac, some friends that have Crohn's disease, and they're doing great on, as a vegan. So I'm glad I could help. That's Cindy the pup. I don't know what's going on. Hang on one second. I think there's some zombies here. I might have to go. People don't talk to you at events. You just got to go right up to them and start talking to them. Make them talk. Ask them questions. Or just, hey, maybe they're not worth your time. I mean, I talked to you when I went to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, sorry, my dog went crazy. Sorry for scaring everybody. That's what he does. Like, nobody can really break in my house because, like, good old Indy turns into, like, that guard dog against zombies. How did I come up with the recipes for the cookbook? Okay, good question. So, half the recipes are mine, half the recipes are John's. For me, I worked in many different restaurants when I was younger, and when I first went vegetarian, I started learning to cook myself. So I always cooked all my foods, and then I just took like my experience working in different restaurants. I've worked in like a lot of pizza places. I have worked in some upscale fancy restaurants. One of them was even on diners, drive-ins, and dives, and then. So I just veganized a lot of things. So that's where I came up with it. John actually went to a culinary school in New York City. Natural Gourmet, I think it was. He only did vegan. They allowed him not to work with any kind of meat or dairy, so that was cool. So totally vegan for him, and so he has a culinary degree. And as of recently, so this year I've been doing the Ruby cooking class. So I've already learned to cook self-taught, but I'm doing the Ruby cooking school. It's a plant-based cooking school. It's all vegan, taught by Master Chef Chad Sarno, who I'm good friends with. And so now I'm learning the proper techniques, the proper way to cook. But, I always said, like, we've been cooking since the beginning of human existence. So, like, who's to say what's right or what's wrong on how you cook something? As long as you make something, tastes good, looks good. I mean, it doesn't even have to look good, but I guess for presentation purposes, stuff like that. So that's how we came up. So that was our background in cooking and culinary. But so our first few recipes that we did on YouTube were like, we would get together like every Thanksgiving and have vegan Thanksgiving with our friends, and we would all make a different dish. So at first we just took some of those dishes that we made, because we didn't even expect to have the show for too long, just like a few episodes we were going to do. And we started making those. Like the first one we ever did was our John stuffed shells and bruschetta. And then we did like some pancakes, some tofu scramble, like all these different things. And then we just, people liked the show, so we started doing more recipes. And I remember the first time John ran out of recipes, because I was the guy filming everything. I was in the background directing him, all that, and he was doing the recipes at first. And then he didn't have a recipe. His recipe failed. And he's like, dude, I don't have a recipe tonight. And we had all the cameras set up, the lighting set up. And I said, well, this probably isn't a good recipe. Probably everybody knows how to make these, but I guess we could do my pizza rolls. I was so wrong, because that video is one of our best recipes now. And I shouldn't have doubted myself. But so we did pizza rolls. So that was the first recipe I did with the vegan zombies. So we already had a bunch of recipes on YouTube, and then when people wanted us to do the cookbook, we said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all our recipes that are on YouTube, and we're going to put them in the cookbook, and then we're going to do maybe 10 to 12 additional recipes that are going to be exclusive to just the cookbook. So that's what we did. That's how we came up with it. Oh, Craig's on. Yeah, we got to get to number 7. No Egg Craig, what's going on? I was at the farmer's market today. Didn't see you. So I guess Indy really scared some of you guys. Sorry about that. I should have made I gotta get going, because I need to post my my movie for the night, and I only have 15 minutes to post it out here on the East Coast. How do I feel about Thanksgiving after the Dakota Access Pipeline? You saw my video. You saw that I was there, right? I'm assuming that's why you're asking. When I say Thanksgiving, I'm not celebrating any kind of like, I'm celebrating getting together with family. I'm not celebrating like Christopher Columbus coming over or anything like that. And usually we call it vegan Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving or something like that. Oh, you're ordering my cookbook. You can order on the veganzombie.com if you're going for my cookbook. I also have the ebook. Let's see what we're doing here. Pizza rolls. That's what I always do when I go to a veg fest. When I do a presentation. You use our tofu recipe for breakfast every day. The tofu that I make or the tofu scramble, Andy? Oh, Craig's doing dishes. Mom and Pa got you to work, didn't they? Doing dishes, right? Okay, I'm trying to get to. Where will it be posted at the movie? Wait, which movie? Which movie? Oh, the movie. On my Instagram account, I'm doing a different Halloween movie every night for the month of October. So we only have a few more to go. We've already come. I had 2 in mind that I was going to do, and you guys already made my decision up for me. We're posting 28 days later for tonight. You check me out on Instagram at The Vegan Zombie. Exactly, Black Mist Angel. That's all it is for me too. Okay, yeah, the how to cook tofu right. Yeah, that's delicious tofu that way. Thank you for. So I also did a couple of videos when I was at Standing Rock, and I interviewed some of the people there so we could get the word out. I even interviewed one of the elders, which was pretty awesome, who had her own show on PBS, or I think it was she was going to had her own show on PBS or something like that. The interesting thing is that you could see all the transmission towers, the phone towers, like right where we were, and they had them all shut down. Like I had no service. I couldn't transmit anything. I wanted to do some live videos there. I couldn't do any of that. But I did a few videos. I did a few vlogs there, and then I did that long video interviewing everyone. Okay. All right. Thanks, Vegan for Vendetta. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow maybe. So, all right, guys. Hope you like this broadcast. I'll be on tomorrow night as well. I have to go make some zombie things in the kitchen and post my things. So, you guys have a good night. Don't let the zombies bite, and I'll see you tomorrow.